Hello, friend, and welcome back to the series nobody asked for on YouTube. It's 1987 MS-DOS Jeopardy, the first edition, and we are playing the last game of this recording session. I'm a returning champion with almost $200,000 in fake money. We go to contestant 2. His name is Glenn, and he wears that funny-looking shirt. And Irene's showing up, too, and she has the red hair. Contestants, get ready to play Jeopardy! A reminder that when we play Jeopardy, I have to buzz in right away, otherwise the computer buzzes in right away. And so I'm going to try to read the clues as best I can, just realize we're going to be interrupted a lot. It's the only way to play this version of the game, I'm sorry to say. Here are the 6 categories, and they look interesting enough. We have mammals, fairy tales, movie who's who, sun state, valleys, and a whole category devoted to applesauce. We're going to start there for $100. And the answer is, an apple is the traditional bribe used by small children to get on their good side. Who is the teacher? I wonder how that started. Apple for the teacher. Glenn's on the board with 100. What do you want? What do you want, Glenn? Sun State for $300. This boggy area, by the way, it's Sunshine State, which refers to Florida. This boggy area covers 1.4 million acres, with its highest point only 10 feet above sea level. What are the Everglades? That's in the Sunshine State. All right. Sunshine State for 100. This major college bowl game is contested in Miami every January 1st. What is the Orange Bowl? No. Of course, the Orange Bowl building doesn't exist anymore, but they still play it. The Orange Bowl. Sunshine State for 2. Florida was discovered, named, and claimed for Spain after the Seeker of Youth. He was looking for the Fountain of Youth. He was Da Gama? Vasco da Gama? No. I'll say Da Gama. No. Ponce de Leon. That's who I should have put. Ponce de Leon was seeking the Fountain of Youth. And ironically, Florida is filled with a lot of retirees. Ponce de Leon was the correct answer. That's what I should have said. Sunshine State for 4. Let's get that money back. This city of Miami Beach, or the city of Miami Beach, is located in this county, made famous by Anita Bryant's crusade. Miami Beach, what is Dade County? No, Miami-Dade County. Anita Bryant, I believe, is a reference to a woman and a model and a spokeswoman from like the 1970s or 80s. What is Dade County? Thanks, Judge. She wasn't a big fan of the LGBT community, and so I think that's Anita Bryant. And then they ridiculed the hell out of her. And, yeah. Apples and people are sometimes rotten to this. Yeah, a lot of people were like, hey, don't be a jerk. And so it didn't work out. Was the court. I think that's right. I'll do a double check and I'll post something in the comments if I've got the wrong person, because I don't want to accuse anybody of being anti-LGBT by mistake. But I think that's what the crusade was referring to. She had religious objections to the LGBT community. Traditional fall beverage, it can be either hard or soft. Quiet from the Peanut Gallery. What is cider? Meaning it's either alcoholic or it isn't. That's what that means. We go back to mammals, or we start with mammals. $100, top of the board. The cottontail is one variety of this mammalian species. What is cottontail rabbit? Of course. I want to go back to applesauce for 4. The singing group which owned and recorded on the Apple label. And those were the Beatles. Who are the Beatles? On Apple Records. Applesauce for 5. John Chapman, American pioneer, better known by this name, who is Johnny Appleseed. He planted apple trees all over the United States. That's the legend anyway. The Sunshine State, we'll finish that out for $500. This nation received possession of Florida in 1763 in exchange for Havana, Cuba. Of Florida. Well, that was Spain. What is Spain? No. Or was it? Must have been France then. Possession of Florida in exchange for Cuba. Well, Cuba would have been Spain. Yeah, I probably should have put France. Yeah, because Florida was Spanish. And then, yeah. Oh, what is England? I didn't know that. Huh. Well, that's why we play these games, to learn new things. Movies, who's who for 100. This actress made a splash in A Mermaid's Tale. Who is Daryl Hannah? The movie Splash. Fairy Tales for 100. He climbed a beanstalk. Did some other things too, and stole a giant's money bag, harp, and magic red hen. Who is Jack? Jack and the Beanstalk. Good way to start the category. Fairy Tales for 2. Of the 7 dwarves, the one most likely to catch a chronic cold. Who is Sneezy? I presume. All right. Fairy Tales for 3. A woodcutter abandoned these children in the woods. Yeah, that's a fun story, isn't it? Who are Hansel and Gretel? Just abandoned them in the woods. Sure. Fairy Tales for 4. He wrote Thumbelina and the Little Mermaid. We saw this in a previous game. Who is Hans Christian Andersen? I spelled Christian wrong, didn't I? Christian. Must be an E or something in there. I don't know. Thumbelina and the Little Mermaid. I'm getting some harsh vibes from the judge here. We're not doing too well at this point of the game. We're only down by 400, but Irene can make it an 800-point game. Yeah, Hans Christian. I maybe missed an H in there. Andersen with an E. I probably spelled enough of it wrong. All right. Crazy judge. Mammals for 400. Canine culture hero and trickster of Western American legend. What is the coyote? Fair enough. That trickster. Maybe that's the judge, is the coyote. Fairy Tales for 5. The Grimms added a happy ending to Perrault's tale La Petite Chaperon Rouge. What is Little Red Riding Hood? Petite Chaperon Rouge. Glenn's back on the plus side with $100 in this close match. 3 categories to work with. Mammals. $500. It's the fastest mammal in the water. I'll try. What is the dolphin? Okay. $500 goes to me. And we'll keep going with mammals. $200. Of horse, pig, and deer, the one with odd-toed hooves. I'll try pig. What is pig? Nope. Odd-toed hooves. Hooves. Horse or deer? Pick your poison, Glenn. Not pick the right one. Yeah, pick something, Glenn. Irene, you want to take it for $200? No, nobody gets it. Is it horse? Is it deer? I'm going to say deer. It is horse. I guess the horse only has a single hoof. Huh? Doesn't have the cloven hoof. Mammals for 3. This mammal has the longest lifespan. I'm going to say blue whale, but I don't want to buzz in. Man. Ooh, the most dangerous game. Valleys for 100. The Napa, Sonoma, and Mendocino valleys are famous for this. What is wine? They're all, grapevine wineries, all that. Valleys for 2. What a valley girl might gag on. Oh my God. Why don't you gag me with a spoon? Old phrase from the 80s for those valley girls in California. Like, gag me with a spoon. Current stars of Dynasty and The Fall Guy co-starred with Barbara Stanwyck in the 60s Western. What is the Big Valley? I've never heard of it. I've barely heard of Dynasty, to be honest with you. Movies, Who's Who, movie Who's Who. For 200, a comic writer-director used the name of a fruit for one of his films. Name of a fruit. Apple, banana, orange. Name of a fruit for one of his films. Mel Brooks, maybe? No. Comic director. Playing through as many fruits as I can come up with in my head here. Woody Allen. What would have been the fruit then? I'll have to think about that. Valleys for 4. This megaphone-toting crooner of the 1920s made comeback in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Valley. Crooner of the 20s. Richie Valley? No. Rudy Valley. I'm still trying to think. What was the Woody Allen film that was named after a fruit? I'll have to look it up later. It was the main camp of the Continental Army from December 1777 to June 1778. What is Valley Forge? Movie Who's Who for 300. Oscar-nominated actress in Kramer vs. Kramer, who also starred in a film depicting a nuclear holocaust. That was the very famous Meryl Streep. I didn't spell Streep right. Because Meryl Streep was in Kramer vs. Kramer. Meryl Streep. Is there a Y in Streep somewhere? Yeah, the judge is really nicking me on the spelling. Oh, it's not her. Who is Jane Alexander? / Meryl Streep. Ah. Oh, you crumb bums. You crumb bums. I had it. I had spelled right, too, I think. $400. Yes, movie Who's Who. Director who first gained notice with TV movie starring Dennis Weaver in a menacing truck, Steven Spielberg. I don't know the movie name, but I certainly know of Steven Spielberg. Last clue for $500. Movie Who's Who. His efforts didn't win this director the right stuff at the 1984 Academy Awards. Who directed The Right Stuff? Philip Kaufman. And it looks like we've got a tie, $1,600 apiece for Scotty and the lady, and whoever the guy is in the middle, he'll go first in Double Jeopardy. I forgot their names already. We'll be back in just a second. All right, Double Jeopardy coming up. Here's the 6 categories. Remember, 2 daily doubles, but only I get to claim them if I can find them. I think it's Keith that gets, or Glenn, sorry. World Cities, Oscars, Law, Children's Classics, Fads, and Fishy Foods. Chubby Checker made this dance a popular hit in 1959. Made this dance popular with his 1959 hit. What is the twist? Chubby Checker did the twist. Like we did last summer. Come on, let's twist again. Like we did last year. Individualized dolls that must be adopted as well as purchased. What are Cabbage Patch Kids? Very famous fad of the 1980s. That had adoption papers and everything. Fads for 4. It's the Daily Double. All right. Boy. So a lot of clues left to play out. Let's make it true. True Daily Double and fads. Kids everywhere began to speak like these after Moon Zappa's hit songs satirized their speech. Kids everywhere began to speak like these after Moon Zappa's hit songs satirized their speech. Uh-oh. Speak like robots or something? No. What did they speak like? Valley Girls. Okay. Fair enough. Let's go fads for 6. An energetic form of musical exhibition made popular on big city streets. Exhibition made popular on big city streets. Musical energetic form of musical exhibition. I don't know. Oh, what is breakdancing? This is a game of the 80s after all. All right. Fads for 1,000. 60s menswear fashion which took its name from an Indian prime minister. What is the Nehru jacket? All right, getting some of that money back. Let's go children's classics for 200. The Toy Bear Hero of children's stories by A.A. Milne. Who is Winnie the Pooh? Yeah, Pooh Bear was A.A. Milne. Children's classics for 400. The antagonist of the Sheriff of Nottingham. Who is Robin Hood? Who is Robin Hood is correct. And we go now to children's classics for 6. He sleeps through the Revolutionary War. Oh no. Who is the Washington Irving? Oh, he fell asleep for 20. Oh, what is his name? He falls asleep for 20 years and he wakes up in New England. He's Ichabod Crane? Ichabod Crane? Is that right? No. By the same author. No, Washington Irving. No. He fell asleep. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. I bet you in your homes and offices know this one. Viewers know this. It's not Ichabod Crane. It's Washington Irving. No, it's Rip Van Winkle. Yeah, okay. Children's classics, please, for 8. Save Me. J.R. Weiss related the adventures of a European clergyman, his wife, and 4 sons on an island. Is it Robinson Crusoe? It's the Swiss Family Robinson. The heck with children's classics. Law for 2. A defamatory statement. It's the written counterpart of a slanderous utterance. What is libel? All right. Law for 400. Paul Newman played a down-at-the-heels lawyer in this 1983 film. Down at the Heels. Paul Newman. All right. Glenn, you want to take this? Nope, The Verdict was the name of the film. Law for 600. The person named in a will to carry out its terms. Who is the executor? The executor of the will. Okay, that was a good clue. Law for 8, please. This constitutional amendment guarantees the right to bear arms. What is the Second Amendment? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Law for 1,000. Fictional name used as standard plaintiff in a court case. Fictional name used as standard plaintiff in a court case. What is John Doe? Yep. All right, now we're making some of that money back. Let's finish out child classics for $1,000. Edward Stratemeyer's series featured this boy inventor's hair-raising adventures. Tom Swift. From where we get the phrase Tom Swifty, because he used a lot of adjectives unnecessarily, I think, or adverbs unnecessarily. Fishy Food for 200. 3 types of this popular food fish are the yellowfin, the bluefin, the yellowtail, and the skipjack. What is the tuna? All right. Yeah, we'll keep going with Fishy Foods. Fishy Foods for 4. Fish from which lox is made. I believe that's salmon. All right. Fishy Foods for 6. Preserved whole in oil. Oh, Irene beat me to the punch. Whole in oil pilchards are better known by this name. What are sardines? I always said anchovies, so I'm glad Irene jumped in. Fishy food. Although anchovies are dried usually, aren't they? I don't know. Fishy Foods for $1,000. Fish are the major diet of animals on this continent. Fish are the major diet of animals on this continent. Well, it must be Antarctica. Yeah. All the penguins and the bears and all that, they all eat fish, right? Fishy Foods for 8. It's the Daily Double. I'm not going to wager a lot like last time. I'm just going to do $1,200. In England, they're prepared as kippers. Are those anchovies? Anchovies? No. Kipper. Cod? Herring. Okay. All right, let's go world cities for 2. It was the first Canadian city to have a Major League Baseball team. Now, it's Toronto or Montreal. I think the Montreal Expos were first. What is Montreal? Yeah. Yeah, they both, I think Montreal maybe the late 60s, and then Toronto was like the mid-70s. World cities for 4, and they're the only 2 that have had them. Until 1967, Jordan controlled half of this Mideastern capital. Jordan. Is it Jerusalem because it was like split? Yeah, because Jerusalem, I think it still is today. I think it's kind of split down the middle. World cities for 6. Yugoslavia's capital, Belgrade, is also on this river, most commonly associated with Vienna. Is that the Danube? Correct. Yugoslavia, of course, has broken up since the time of this game. World cities for 800. Site of famous World War II war crimes trials. It starts with a B. It's the, not Berlin. No, it doesn't start with B, but it has a B in it. What is Nuremberg? Spelled Nuremberg wrong. The Nuremberg trials. Nuremberg with an E. Thanks, Glenn. He's up to $2,200. Half of my total. 6 clues to go. World cities for 1,000. They speak Portuguese in this South American capital. Portuguese is spoken in Brazil. The capital is Brasilia. All right, 5,400 now. I guess we go to the Oscars now for $200. This Oscar stands on top of a reel of film. What? What is the Academy? Oh. Okay, I think the category isn't about the award as a whole. I think it's about people named Oscar, I think is where we're going. That's why that didn't make any sense to me. Felix Unger's slovenly roommate from The Odd Couple, who is Oscar Madison. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Oscars for 6. Midget chef who was trademark for Oscar Mayer hot dogs. I'm just reading the clue, friends. Okay. Who is Little Oscar? Little Oscar. Okay, fine. Again, I just read the clue. Little person, probably is what we would say today. $800. Nope, $1,000 for Oscars. Wrote the Ballad of Reading Jail in 1898 while imprisoned on morals charges. It was Oscar Wilde. Yeah. And I think it is pronounced jail. Reading Jail. It's a British thing. The last Oscar clue for $800. You'll find his signature on clothes, perfumes, and frames for glasses. Well, it looks like Irene won't be around for Final Jeopardy. Glenn, you can take this for $3,200, or $3,000 rather. For $3,000, Glenn, who is Oscar de la Renta. $3,000 for Glenn, $6,800 for me. Irene, negative $400. I have $3,800 to work with in Final Jeopardy, but should win the game as long as I don't over wager and get the math screwed up. Remember, I'm the only one who gets to play Final Jeopardy. The computers sit this out, and that's just the nature of the game. The category is Russia, $6,800, and I can wager up to $3,800. Let's do $3,200 and try to make an even 10 grand. Just doing the math in my head quick, should be okay. Here we go. Final Jeopardy category is Russia. Here's the clue. He won the Nobel Prize in 1958 for Dr. Zhivago, but turned it down. Who wrote Dr. Zhivago? I don't know who wrote Dr. Zhivago. Tolstoy's too old. It's the only author I can think of. Nope. Well, this was a rough game, friends, but $3,600 is a win. Boris Pasternak was the name of the author who wrote Dr. Zhivago. A tough game, tough way to end the recording session, but it's a win. $195,099. We'll definitely cross the 200K threshold the next time we play, but that'll have to wait for another day. Thank you, friend, for joining us here on 1987 MS-DOS Jeopardy. I hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe learned a few things. And until next time, Scotty Euclid saying bye-bye.